Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. We know you're busy, you want to stay ahead of the curve, but who has the time to sift through all the hype? So we're here to do the heavy lifting for you. Today we're going deep on a YouTube video that caught our eye. It's by Cardinal Mason, and the title is, well, let's just say it's pretty bold. How AI is going to make me $500,000 this year. Just copy me. Yeah, you heard that right.
$500,000. That's a pretty big claim, right? And he doesn't stop there. He also talks about making 10 to 20K a month, all while AI is supposedly doing 90% of the work. So naturally, we had to dig in.
Exactly. We're breaking down his claims, looking at the strategies, and focusing specifically on his method for using AI for copywriting and marketing.
Right, because that seems to be the core of his pitch.
And before we jump in, it's worth noting that Cardinal Mason presents himself as a bit of an online business guru. He claims to have made over $10 million in the past 5 years from all sorts of online ventures. Copywriting, running an agency, crypto, coaching, info products, consulting, you name it.
Yeah, he definitely paints a picture of someone who knows his way around the online world.
So, putting aside the big income claims for a moment, what's the fundamental idea he's putting forward?
Well, his main argument is that there are proven business models out there that have always worked, and now, with AI, we can supercharge those models. He's basically saying, take what already works and use these new tools to amplify it. And in this case, he's specifically talking about using AI for copywriting, which, as we know, is essential for pretty much any business.
Right. Every business needs good copy, whether it's for emails, ads, websites, social media. It's the backbone of marketing.
Exactly. And he actually uses a pretty interesting analogy to illustrate how big this opportunity could be.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
So he compares the impact of AI to what Amazon did to the retail world. Think about it. Amazon made shopping incredibly convenient. You can buy almost anything with a few clicks, and it arrives at your doorstep.
It's completely changed how we shop.
And he's suggesting that AI has the potential to do the same thing for a whole range of business services. What's really interesting, though, is that this time around, he believes it's not just big corporations that will benefit. He thinks that individuals, like you and me, can use these AI tools to create significant opportunities for ourselves. It's not just about the Amazons of the world anymore.
Okay, I'm starting to see where he's going with this, but let's get a bit more specific. What problem is he saying AI solves in the world of copywriting?
Well, he starts by stating the obvious. Every business needs good copywriting. It's essential for sales. And traditionally, businesses have relied on human copywriters for this, which can get expensive. Good copywriters can charge thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah, that's not exactly pocket change for a lot of businesses, especially smaller ones.
Right. And that's where AI comes in. He argues that AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to copywriting. What might take a human hours or even days to write, AI can do in seconds.
Wow, that's a huge difference. But here's a question that pops into my mind. If AI can write copy so quickly and cheaply, why would businesses pay anyone to do it? Why wouldn't they just use the AI themselves?
That's a great question, and he actually addresses it head on in the video. He gives a few reasons. First, he says that a lot of business owners, even if they know about AI, might not be comfortable using it for their copywriting. They might not know how to use it effectively or how to make sure it sounds good.
Yeah, AI can be a bit intimidating if you're not used to it.
Exactly. And even if they figure out the technical side of things, they might still be unsure about whether the AI-generated copy will actually work.
Right, there's still a trust factor there.
Absolutely. And his second point is that businesses might be hesitant to use AI because they're worried it will sound robotic or lack that human touch that good copywriting needs. And finally, he stresses that even with AI, you still need a human in the loop, someone he calls an AI watchdog. This person understands marketing and copywriting and can make sure the AI is producing high-quality, effective copy that aligns with the business's goals.
So it's not about replacing human copywriters entirely. It's more about using AI as a powerful tool to enhance what humans can do.
Exactly. It's a collaboration.
Okay, so I'm getting the idea. Now let's get into the specifics of his strategy, the copy me part of the video. What's he actually recommending people do?
So he's basically saying that you can position yourself as that AI watchdog, that expert who can leverage AI to help businesses with their copywriting. You become the middleman, so to speak.
I like it. So what would that look like in practice? If someone wanted to try this out, what would they actually do?
Okay, so let's say a client comes to you and needs a series of emails written for a product launch. The first step is you take that information and feed it into an AI tool. He specifically mentions using Claude.
Claude. Right. We've talked about that AI before on the show.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful one. So you give Claude the information, and it generates a draft of the emails. Then you come in and review that draft, making sure it's high quality, engaging, and on brand for the client. He claims this editing process only takes him about 5 minutes per email.
5 minutes. That seems incredibly fast.
Right, and it's worth noting that he's probably pretty experienced with both copywriting and using Claude, so your mileage may vary. But the point is, with AI, the process can be much faster than traditional copywriting.
Okay, so you've got the AI doing the initial draft, and then you come in and polish it up. What happens next?
Then you simply deliver the finished emails to the client. So it's a pretty straightforward process.
It sounds like it. And he makes some pretty big claims about how much time this can save you and how it can impact your earning potential, right?
Oh, yeah. He compares his experience in February of this year, where he made $41,000, and he says he did it with way less work than he used to.
And how does that compare to what he was doing before?
Well, he talks about a crazy month back in 2021 where he made $448,000, but he was working insane hours, like seriously insane.
I can only imagine.
He basically painted a picture of being completely burned out. But the point he's trying to make is that with AI, he's able to make almost as much money with a fraction of the effort. It's all about leverage.
I'm seeing the appeal. He even went into detail about his daily routine back then, right?
Yeah, he described his schedule in October 2021, waking up super early, relying on stimulants, working 12-hour days. It sounded pretty brutal. And then he contrasted that with his February 2025 schedule, where he was earning nearly the same amount, but with way less stress and way fewer hours.
It sounds like a dream.
Mm-hmm.
He also mentioned a specific example of a project he did for a VSL, a video sales letter, where he made $88,000.
Yeah, that one was pretty impressive. And he said he finished the whole thing in just 4.5 hours using AI to help him.
$88,000 in 4.5 hours. That's an insane hourly rate.
For those who might not know, can you quickly explain what a VSL is and why they can be so lucrative for copywriters?
Sure. A VSL is basically a long-form sales video. They're often used to sell online courses, coaching programs, things like that. They can be really effective at converting viewers into buyers, which is why businesses are willing to pay top dollar for good ones.
Got it. Makes sense. Now, he also addresses something that I think a lot of people might struggle with, the fear of getting into copywriting. What does he say about that?
Yeah, he acknowledges that a lot of people might feel like they're not good enough writers to be copywriters, or they might be scared to put themselves out there and find clients. But he argues that AI can help overcome these hurdles. He says that even if you're not a naturally gifted writer, AI can help you produce decent quality copy. He gives it a 7 out of 10 rating, and then he says with a little bit of editing, you can bump it up to an 8 or a 9.
So AI can kind of give you a head start. Exactly. And once you have a few decent pieces of copy under your belt, it can give you the confidence to start reaching out to clients and building your portfolio.
I can see how that would be really helpful, especially for someone just starting out. Okay, so let's say someone is listening to this and they're like, all right, I'm intrigued. I want to try this out. What are the concrete steps he recommends taking to actually start making money with this?
He gives two main methods for finding clients. The first is pretty straightforward: Instagram. He says to look for businesses that need copywriting, like info product creators, e-commerce brands, even local businesses, and then just reach out to them directly through DMs with a simple pitch. He even gives an example of a pitch that you can adapt, something about helping them improve their email marketing results.
Okay, that's not too intimidating. What's the second method?
The second one is a little more creative. He suggests going on YouTube and looking for videos where business owners are talking about their struggles with things like email marketing or sales funnels, the kinds of videos that are like 5 ways to double your conversion rate or whatever.
I've seen those.
Yeah, so he says to look at the comment sections of those videos because you'll often find business owners who are openly admitting that they're struggling. And then you can reach out to them directly, referencing their comment and offering to help them solve their problem. It's a pretty clever way to find people who are already looking for a solution.
I like that. You're targeting people who have already identified a need.
Exactly.
So you found your clients. Now, how do you actually use AI to get the job done? He's pretty adamant about how you instruct the AI, right?
Oh, yeah. He's big on this. He says that the key to getting good results from AI is giving it very specific instructions. He calls them prompts. And he says that if you give the AI vague prompts, you're going to get vague, boring output.
So garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. He actually gives a really detailed example of a prompt that he uses with Claude. Let's say you're trying to improve an existing email. His prompt is very specific. He tells Claude to pretend to be the best copywriter in the world, someone with years of experience. He states the goal, which is to double the email's conversion rate. And he stresses that the AI needs to sound human and engaging, not like a robot.
So it's almost like you're giving the AI a persona to work with.
Yeah, exactly. And then he even shows how he takes an actual email, one that he says he, quote, stole from someone named Brooke Hitchens, and he pastes it into Claude with this very specific prompt.
And what happens?
Well, he shows the output that Claude generates, and then he points out specific edits he would make. Like, he removes a random Spanish translation that somehow got in there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and he also rephrases some sentences that sound a bit awkward. The point is, he's showing that even with AI, you still need that human touch to make sure the copy is truly top-notch.
It's a partnership. Now, as the video wraps up, he really hammers home this idea that there's a huge opportunity right now with AI. What are some of the key takeaways he wants people to walk away with?
Well, he talks about the potential to create really high-value recurring income streams with a surprisingly small amount of work each week. He gives an example of a client paying him $5,000 to $6,000 a month for a package that includes writing a few emails, hopping on a quick call, and maybe scripting a short video reel. And he estimates that this only takes him about 10 to 15 minutes of actual work each week.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and he stresses that this is a very scalable model. You could potentially have a handful of these high-paying clients and make a really good living without working yourself to death. He throws out some numbers like if you have just 2 clients paying you $6,000 a month, that's $145,000 a year, or 3 clients at $3,000 a month, that's still over $100,000 a year.
So the potential is definitely there. He also makes some interesting comparisons to other technological shifts that have happened in the past, right?
Right. Yes, he talks about things like Bitcoin back in 2011 and YouTube around 2010. He's basically saying that those who were early adopters of those technologies were able to reap massive rewards. And he believes that AI is at a similar stage right now. He calls it a rare window of time where businesses are starting to see the value of AI, but they don't necessarily have the knowledge or the systems to implement it themselves. And that's where you can come in as the expert and help them bridge that gap.
So his message is, get in on the ground floor while you still can.
Exactly. He's saying that this is a prime opportunity to establish yourself as an AI-powered copywriter before everyone else catches on.
Makes sense. He also briefly touches on the broader implications of AI for the marketing world, doesn't he?
Yeah, he suggests that AI is democratizing marketing in a way. It's making it possible for people who might not have traditional copywriting skills or resources to create high-quality content and potentially earn a living online.
That's a really interesting point. Okay, so wrapping up, what's your main takeaway from Cardinal Mason's deep dive into AI for copywriting?
Well, I think his central message is that there's a significant opportunity right now for people to leverage AI in the field of copywriting. If you can learn how to use these tools effectively and market yourself as an expert, you could potentially generate a substantial income with a lot less effort than traditional copywriting requires.
But of course, we always encourage our listeners to approach these kinds of claims with a healthy dose of skepticism. It's not going to be easy money. You'll still need to put in the work to learn the skills, find clients, and deliver results.
Right, it's not a magic bullet.
Exactly. But it's definitely something worth exploring further if you're looking for new opportunities in the world of online business.
I agree.
So, as we think about AI transforming the world of copywriting, it makes you wonder, what other industries might be ripe for disruption by AI? And how can you, the listener, position yourself to benefit from these changes? That's something to ponder as we head into the week ahead. Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.